Welcome to Shark Week. It's a national holiday at our house. We celebrate all week long and we love it. We decorate, we go all out, we make snacks. I'm going to show you how to make a Shark Week art project in this video to display in your home to celebrate. This is part 2 and this is the last video we made on showing the first project. So let's get started on our Jaws inspired piece. Let's go. So in this video we're going to start out with a few beachy themed menus. Find a few cute ones online, print them off on regular paper, it'll work great. Find your menus and then we're going to cut a 5x7 square out of your menus. I like to use old Christmas cards. There's my beautiful daughter. You can also do an 8x10 if you'd like to, or any size really. This is just a 5x7 simple size to put on a mantle. Cut out your menus and then go get your parents if you are a child for the next part. Do not do this by yourself. Take it to your sink, turn on the faucet, and we're gonna burn our edges. It gives it kind of a old rustic-y treasure map effect. I like to do it. It adds some interest to the straight edges of paper. You don't have to do this. I just think it's kind of fun. Gives a little more interest visually. And who doesn't like to play with fire a little bit? But kids, do not do this without your parent. I repeat, do not. Let your paper dry and then glue it onto another 5x7. You can trace it. Again, I use the same Christmas card. They come in very handy if you order extra. Cut that out. And then I like to use rubber cement. It's acid-free. You apply it to one side and it is temporary. You apply it to the second side of the paper that you're gluing it to and it is permanent. You can flake off some of your edges if it's too crispy. Sometimes it's extra fun to be extra crispy, kind of like a KFC, but you know, whatever you feel like. It's your art project. It's just kind of an example on what to go by. So one side rubber cement is temporary. You can move things around, and if you have both pieces you're gluing covered in rubber cement, it will be permanent. It's kind of a fun sticky glue. You could use Elmer's glue too, doesn't matter. I just happen to have a lot of rubber cement from art projects and I tend to use it. It's really a great glue. If you don't have some, I suggest getting some. It's great. But you can use Elmer's, you can use a glue stick, anything you like. Just make sure it's really stuck down. Apply your piece, smooth it out, make sure all the bubbles and lumps are out, or not. It could add some texture. I'm all for texture. There you go. There's the start of our piece. Looks marvelous. So next up, we're going to add some paint. You could use acrylic paint, which I'm going to use, or you could use watercolor paint, or you could just use markers if you wanted to. Sky is the limit. I have a lot of acrylic paint and it's fast, so I tend to use it. But I was going to do this with watercolors. I don't know why I didn't. I think I used acrylic on the other one, so it's just in my brain to use acrylic on this one. But watercolors would be perfect. It would even make your cute menu show through even more. So feel free to use watercolors for this step of the project if you'd like. I am just painting in a sea. I have my horizon line and I tend to make that a little darker on the top. And above that I will put a sky in a minute, but I'm just filling the whole thing up as opposed to the last project we did, I left a beach. This one I want them to be deep in the water. So I'm filling the whole piece up of the paper except for those little cutouts that we burned out with blue paint. You can use marker, you can use watercolor, you can use colored pencils, anything. And I am making the sky now, and I'm going to go a slightly more aqua blue for the sky, a little bit lighter, so I show the definition between the sea and the skyline. If you do it pretty light and pretty translucent, you can still see your fun menu. Again, watercolor, you might even be better than what I did. You would be able to see your cute menu a little bit easier. And I always make the dark line near the horizon to make sure it's a nice clear line between the sea and the sky. And there you have it. Our sea and sky is finished. And now we're going to cut out some letters to say, this is going to say Sharky, but you could say beach, you could say Jaws, you could say watch out, you could say ships ahoy, whatever you feel like. I like to use old cards and magazines and calendars to find my letters. You could even go to if you don't hoard them like I do, that is, you could go to the dollar store and pick up a couple of cards with some fun text and use those if you don't want to cut anything that's personal to you. just have fun with it. Ask your friends if they have anything they want to get rid of. I keep a big stash of just random paper that I like because I'm a hoarder by nature. Just kidding, but maybe not really. Anyways, just have fun with it. Make your words all different crazy letters. This, I'm using a piece of insulation that is silver to make a K because I wanted some different texture in there. You could use an old Mylar balloon, a piece of foil, part of a box, anything you want to do. The sky's really the limit on these. You could cut all your letters out from crazy paper. Just have fun with it. And here they all are. It spells Sharky. Keeping my Jaws piece a little light. Now let's get to the good part. We're going to draw the shark. This shark is based after Jaws. And we're going to do 2 elongated arches, kind of like 2 tall rainbows. And then you're going to do another tall rainbow inside the first one. I think I'm going to go over this with pens so it's a little bit darker for you to see well. You don't have to do that. I just did it for your benefit. Make 2 arches, like 2 long rainbows, and then you're going to do a shorter rainbow. It's okay if your paper rips. It adds to the texture. Add 2 smaller rainbows inside, tucked in each other to make the mouth. And then you're going to add little candy corn style teeth to make him look extra fierce. Perfect. He needs 2 big eyes on either side of his face. And there you have your shark. Now I'm going to paint my shark silver. You can use acrylic paint, paint pen, Sharpie, anything you have. I'm using a metallic enamel, which probably don't have, but it works well. Or you could even use little bits of paper and glue it down like a collage. Or you could use some foil, anything you'd like to use. Feel free. You could use a metallic colored pencil if you're using the colored pencils to do this project. Or they even have some metallic acrylics that are great. Anything you want to do. You could even make your shark black and use a black Sharpie. He would stand out just as well. It would not matter. You could use pencil lead to make it shiny silver. Would also work great here. Anything you have. And then we're going to paint. Actually, I think I'm going to use a Sharpie, but you know, this didn't work out very well over my acrylic. It'd probably work out better if you did it on watercolor or colored pencil. It was just a little bit too dark. So later we're going to go over this again in paint, but you kind of get the idea. Make it look like red, make it look scary. All right, he is looking pretty good. If I do say so myself, let's add some fun details to our shark. Okay, now we are going to add some fun details to our shark. Let's add some white paint to do his underbelly to make it stand out a little more, and his teeth. I am using white acrylic for this, but you could always use, I'm not sure what else you could use. You could maybe use a white colored pencil if you're doing it in colored pencils, or maybe some white charcoal would work with this if you didn't have white acrylic. You can add the underbelly, and then you got to go in and make his teeth sparkle like he's been to the dentist. Did you know the animatronic they used in Jaws was named Bruce? And it was actually named after Steven Spielberg's attorney, Bruce, because the attorney was giving him such a hard time with all the things that Steven wanted to do, and the animatronic was giving the whole movie set quite a hard time because it was 1975 and a watered animatronic. So fun fact. All right, he's looking pretty good. Now we're going to add some red paint, like I was saying, over the Sharpie, just because it didn't come out very bright. See if that helps a little bit. And it's a little bit brighter. Maybe a couple layers will do. Now we need some scary, fun shark bites out of all of our paper where we burned. And the nice thing about rubber cement is just the extra, it just rolls away. That's so handy. It just leaves a nice clean finish where you've had that rubber cement. And if you get some smear from the ashes, that's okay too. It adds to the drama of the piece. Just take some shark bites out of your paper where you have those nice burn indentions. Just kind of go quickly. Fun to do. I did speed this up because my mic did not work, so I'm voiceovering this whole thing, which I hope you don't mind. It seems okay. I'll work on a better microphone. I take my red Sharpie, or you could use red paint or a red marker, anything you have, and outline those teeth. It's like Jaws has taken a bunch of bites out of our art project. So going through with the Sharpies, and then I'm going to go ahead and do some red paint just because it gives a little bit of different color, and it's a little bit faster to do than that Sharpie. And I think it turns out pretty fun. Here we go, in speed up time, there's all of our shark bites out of our paper. And we're going to color in his eyes so they're black and beady and staring at you. Go through and do a little outlining, make things stand out a little bit more with a black pen. You could use a black Sharpie, anything you have. Now let's do some water. Like he is splashing out. He's coming to get you. He's biting the boat. Make some waves and splashes. There's no real science to it. Just have fun. Add some white, light blue, dark blue under the light areas. Will make it look like it pops. Gives it some definition. He is hopping out of that water. All right, we are going to add some dark layers under the lighter ones to give it some depth. Just add some shading. Makes it look a little bit more 3D. Don't be afraid to go over your shark a little bit. The water would go over him if he was jumping out. So just have some fun with it. See, that dark water just really makes it pop. Gives it a nice effect. Don't forget to add some little white highlights in the eye for light reflection. Makes him look not quite so lifeless. And then glue down any bits that are coming off on your paper. Easy to go back and fix after you've done all your detail to it. If something's popping up, just feel free to glue it right back. So let's start with our letters. Gives it another layer of interest to our piece. And they're kind of fun. Depends on what letters you picked. I can't wait to see what y'all did. Make sure you send them to me. I would love to see them. My Instagram is Jennifer Moreman Artist. I'm not sure I can get pictures on YouTube, but feel free to hop over there and send me what you've been doing because I want to see. It brings me so much joy and so much happiness to see what y'all are working on. Even if it's not this project, I want to see what you're doing and know that you've watched, and I love to have comments. And I am a very new channel. I am not new to art, but I am a new channel, so if you would subscribe, that would help me out so much. I would love to be able to keep doing this. It does take a lot of time to do these videos because I am new at this and I am not the best at all of the filming and video and, you know, having the microphone work. That would be nice if I could figure that out. But there's our cute little Sharky, and I hope you enjoy this project so I can do more of these. Just let me know what you like. I'll go back to the drawing series too. Now I'm going to add some white fluffy clouds into our sky. Go over the white a little bit more. White will sometimes, when it dries, will show through the colors in the background, so it's always nice to give it an extra layer. Now I'm going to take my pen and do some more outlining and detail work. Just make things pop a little bit more. Clean it up a little bit. Not a lot. I'm obviously not giving a whole bunch of attention to what I'm doing, but it's nice to just give some things some outline. It's loose, it's free. I'm going to take my silver paint again. You can use a Sharpie, you can use a black Sharpie, silver Sharpie, you can use paint pen. Just going to add some detail to our letters, give it some more interest like we did on the last video. Polka dots are always a good time. You could do zigzags, you could do stripes. Just make them look a little more festive. And there we have it. There is our Jaws-inspired Shark Week piece. I hope you had a lot of fun doing this with me. I had a lot of fun showing you how to do it. Please share with me what you did. I would love to see. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. We are going to do another piece for Halloween. That's going to be a haunted mansion. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be similar to this with a twist. So thank you for joining me in my studio. Please subscribe and send me what you got. Thanks. Bye.